Hey everybody, it's Eddie Ford from NorCal Gun Vault. We get a lot of questions about concealed carry. What does it take to do a concealed carry? What do I need? And we thought we'd do a quick video just to answer some frequently asked questions. I brought in my expert, Paul Robbins from Northern Firearm Instruction. Paul, why don't you introduce yourself and the company?
Yeah, NFI, Northern Firearms Instruction, largest provider, I think, of concealed carry courses in California, especially if you're in Northern California. We'd love to take care of you. I teach the courses Placer, Sacramento County, and our surrounding counties, but we've got instructors all across Northern California. usgunpro.com. You can just enter your county and the course you're looking for. Will take care of you.
Fantastic. Yeah. You guys do a great job. So Paul, most of the questions I get are, what does it take to get a CCW? What do I need to do? What are the requirements that I have to have or I need to do to get a CCW?
Yeah, we ought to just go over the basics. You have to be 21 or older. You have to be a resident of whatever county you live in. And let's be clear, it's your county sheriff, and in some municipalities, it might be your police department that issues your permit. It's very important that you are a resident of that county or that city. So they're going to really verify that. First step is always to get in your application with your county sheriff. Go online, just enter your county name and CCW, and usually the second search term that comes up, it's a funky word. It'll say permitium. Just think I want to get my permit, but click on that and you're going to jump through their hoops. You're going to fill out their forms. They're going to want some money up front, but you get the ball rolling, and you have to verify your residency for sure. You have to obviously own a firearm registered in your name that's appropriate for concealed carry. You got to have that in advance, but get the ball rolling with your county agency to get your application in. They're going to get back to you real quickly and schedule an interview. Don't sweat the interview. Most of our counties in our area, very pro CCW. They're not out to get you, but you'll do the interview, and most counties prefer once you have your interview scheduled, that's when you sign up for your class.
Okay.
And throughout California now, it's always a 16-hour initial CCW class, and that's what we provide. Sign up for your class. Don't sweat that either. They're really fun, including the shooting portion where you have to prove that you can shoot the gun well.
Sure.
Is it a hard test?
No, it's not a hard test.
You were in my class last time for your renewal.
Yes, sir.
Shooting a circle like that, it was very impressive. So 21, get in your application with the county first. Have a gun, and be a person of good moral character. They're going to say no if you've got something funky in your criminal background. Certainly, well, if you're a felon, you can't own a gun, so that's not a problem. That's mostly it. Have it registered in your name, complete the course, and be willing to pay for it. Background check. For sure, right? You're going to do a live scan background check. Count on $100 there. Plus or minus, most folks are charging about $300 for the 16-hour course. So there's some money there. And your county's going to charge you anywhere from a low of maybe $150 to $550 in our area to, if you go to the wrong county, if you're in a not friendly CCW county, they might want $1,000 from you. Sure. But most counties are not.
What if somebody's got a DUI on their record, or what kind of couple? Is there anything that's like that might step in the way legally, not just felony or?
Yeah, why would they say no? Yeah, felony, of course, you got no chance. The main reason that they deny people when they go to the interview or they put in their application, the main reason is they haven't disclosed everything. The cops know everything. They've got everything. People who fail to disclose something in their past that had they disclosed it, it wouldn't have prohibited them from getting their permit. But because they didn't disclose it, they told them no. So disclose everything. And we can save you some trouble. If you've had a DUI within the last 5 years, don't think about it. That's not going to work. Marijuana, it's an interesting thing, legal in California, but not federally. Often they might ask, have you enjoyed that marijuana lately?
Sure.
And if you say, well, I have, and they'll say, when was the last time? And if you say anything within the last 5 years, they'll say, come back and see us when it's been 5 years.
Okay.
So there are some things like that, but just be honest with them. And if you don't have anything odd in your background, tell them everything and don't sweat it.
Sure. Even simple things they'll know, like police department came out to my house to inspect a car that had gotten broken into. And they asked me if the police had ever been to my house, and I couldn't remember that until they kind of said, well, did anything ever happen to one of your vehicles? I'm like, oh yeah, it came out for that. So, I mean, they know everything. So they're looking to see what you're going to tell them.
But they're not looking to tell you no.
All right. So Paul, we talked a little bit, you said a little bit about where you apply is typically online to your county. You're looking for county and CCW.
Yeah.
What documents are they going to need when they go to sign up? What documents will they need to have and upload if they have to upload it?
Yeah, they're not fooling around when it comes to proving that you live in the county, right? That's really important. And so, first of all, you got to have a driver's license, and it has your address in the county on it. If you've recently moved, my understanding is I haven't gotten my new license with the new address on there. They check the DMV records. So when you move, inform the DMV, and you should be fine, even if your driver's license doesn't have your address in the county, if the DMV verifies you live in the county. You got that. And then they want 2 pieces of mail that come to your house. Real mail, not junk mail, but, your gas bill, your electric bill, a bank statement, mail that has your name and your address on it. And that's what they want to verify that you live in the county. Yep.
Gotcha. So, Paul, training. I know training is important, and we offer basic firearm ownership classes for people that are thinking about doing things like CCW. And I know it's usually better for them if they've had a little bit of training prior to. Is there any prior training that's required before they take their CCW that you know of?
In the last 1,000 students, I have had one person come to class who had just bought their gun and had never shot a gun before. We spent a lot of time with them inside and outside of class, and we got them through. That's not a good plan.
Sure.
There's a presumption if you're going to be carrying your gun, that you're going to be taking a CCW class, that you know how to operate a gun safely.
Right.
There's nothing more important than safety. Any class you take about guns better begin with safety or find a new class for sure, right? So you need to be competent with your gun. The shooting qualification standard is not high. Most counties, it's a 30 or 35 shot qualification between 1.5 yards and 10 yards. Some go out to 15. But be confident with your gun. And if and plenty of instructors offer some basic handgun classes. The instruction you do here, it's great that you do that basic introductory class here. And while you don't go to a live range and go bang, you've got the smokeless range over there. Right. And the principles of sight alignment and sight picture and running the trigger, they're all the same.
It's all the same. The only difference is the bang and explosion and learning to accept it is the way I put it.
Yeah. So be competent with your gun. Be safe, absolutely, with your gun. We're going to review safety. We're going to review the basics of marksmanship in the class, but be comfortable with that before you ever sign up for the class. And then don't sweat the class because, again, they tend to be fun. You're in a room full of like-minded people who are shooters, who want to get their permits or renew their permits. Yeah. So they tend to be fun, but you'll have a better time if you feel like you're competent with your gun. If you have friends that you trust that are responsible people that are shooters, go out with them, work with them. It wouldn't hurt, especially if it's your initial class, sometime in the week before you take the class, get out and shoot again. Remind yourself of the basics and be good. Be good at it.
Just make sure that the safety part of it is kind of ingrained in your head.
That is number one.
I mean, the other part too, people get nervous when they go to those because they're like, oh, they're going to judge me. They're going to think everybody in that place is going, oh, they're going to judge me. They're going to think, I mean, you're in, like you said, like-minded people. So it's a lot easier than people think.
Oh, with CCW carriers, you'll be joining a community of the nicest people you've ever met. Well, everybody's really polite when everybody's got a gun. That's true.
That's a good point.
But it's a terrific group of people. Every class I teach, man, I thank them for taking the class and for being good guys. Only the bad guys don't take a class. The bad guys don't get a permit. You're in there with a bunch of good guys.
Right. So, Paul, we talked a little bit about some of the fees and stuff. What about time? What's the time constraint? I mean, how long do I have to wait between the time I sign up and what's the interview schedule?
Yeah, and how long's the class, too? We don't talked about that. Classes, by the way, all initial CCW classes are 16 hours. That some counties were 8 and some were 12, and California says they're all 16 now. It really depends on your county, how quickly you'll get your permit once you decide I want to get a permit. As we said earlier, you start by applying with your county agency, unless you live in a place where the city issues it. So you put in your application first. Most of the time they get back to you very quickly to schedule an interview. When will that interview be? Changes from county to county. We sit here right now in Placer County. I've heard of them getting people in a week later. But pretty commonly, you're in 2 or 3 weeks later, you've got your interview and you're off and running and you take your class and it goes fairly quickly. Sacramento County, for a long time, you were looking at 3 and sometimes 4 months or longer. Right. They've really cleaned it up and they generally get you in there in about a month.
Okay.
Some counties who are not nearly so encouraging about concealed carry. I was talking to somebody from Alameda County that was over a year still waiting for their interview. But most of our CCW counties are friendly and they're pretty fast getting you to the interview. During that time, at some point, you're doing your live scan fingerprint background check. Sometimes that can slow you down. You may have done nothing wrong, but there's some confusion on the name and that can slow you down. But generally, that goes pretty quickly as well. So best case scenario, you're in a county that gets you in for an interview pretty quickly. There's a chance you've got your permit in 5 or 6 weeks. Count on a couple of months or longer if it takes longer to get to your interview, but that's kind of the window.
Right. Just that interview window tends to be, or getting into class or the intangibles like that can stretch it out. But it's about, I'd say on average, probably everybody here says about 4 weeks, which is kind of
to get to the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also worth pointing out some agencies are really insistent on this, but all of them I assume think it's a good idea. The preference that you have your interview before you take your class. That's a good sequence. Sac County is this close to insistent that you have your interview first. The reasoning for that is typical class is, $300 for the renewal. It can be a little more, a little bit less in range fees. The county doesn't want you to spend $300 on a class, then have your interview, and then they have a reason to tell you, no, you can't have your permit, then you've wasted some money. So it can't hurt, certainly, and some agencies really want you to get that interview first. Start that process first with your county. When you get your interview date, find your next available class. Even before the interview, book the class.
So, Paul, if I want to go to Nevada and I have my California CCW, am I able to legally carry into Nevada or into other states? What do you know?
If all you have is your California CCW, the answer is no if the question is concealed carry. And Nevada's an open carry state, so you could do that, although choose wisely where you do that.
Right.
Go to Pahrump, you can walk around with a gun on your hip. Walking down the strip in Vegas, you invite a talking to. And also for the record, in Nevada, anyone can legally have a loaded firearm in their car, whether or not they have a permit. Anyone who can legally own a firearm can have it in their car. But if you want to conceal carry in Nevada, one option is to get a permit in Nevada, which I did years ago. Requires you to go to Nevada, take an instructor course in Nevada, sign up at a Nevada sheriff's office. There's a lot of hassle. They last for 5 years. They last, so that's kind of good.
Yeah.
But there's a much easier way to do it. Nevada does not recognize a California permit, but Nevada recognizes an Arizona permit or a Utah permit.
Right.
And those are our two most popular states where we in California can get a non-resident permit.
You don't have to
I'm not a resident of Arizona, but I have an Arizona non-resident permit. Pretty easy. You can do it. You apply online. They're going to send you fingerprint cards. You do some stuff through the mail. It's less expensive than your California permit.
Sure.
Arizona requires some level of training. Any class, your CCW class, a renewal class, those qualify. You're going to send off that documentation, and they're going to send you an Arizona permit through the mail. You can do the same with Utah. You need an instructor that's jumped through Utah's hoops to sign those. But they show up in the mail. They last for 5 years, and that used to be a much bigger deal. Once upon a time, if you had a California-only permit, you virtually couldn't carry in any other state. That's changed a lot over time, especially the last 5 years. A lot of states in this country are permitless carry, constitutional carry, don't need a permit. Don't assume you can carry there if you're a California resident, but a lot of them you can.
Right, never heard you.
Yeah, and some of those states like Florida, we couldn't carry in Florida up until about a year and a half ago, and Florida said, we'll recognize any permit from any home state. You can carry there. But here's the deal for us in California. If you want to carry west of the Mississippi, if you're taking notes, you cannot carry, if you've got a California permit, in New Mexico, Nevada, which is a big one for us, Colorado, Washington, and Utah. That's it. Those are the only 5 states west of the Mississippi you can't carry in. Get an Arizona permit, and you can carry in Nevada. That's the reason to get an Arizona permit.
Sure.
For me. You also pick up New Mexico. So you add 2 states west of the Mississippi.
And the last time I did it was like $65 for
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've did it. I've done it. I've renewed a couple of times. If you want to get the Utah permit, you don't add New Mexico, but you do add Washington. I mean, it's very small difference. Right. Do you want to go to Nevada is the big question. And then for some reason, if New Mexico or Washington matter, you can get an Oregon non-resident permit, but you have to be willing to go up there. And I just did this last year. You can apply online for the Oregon permit, do it with Klamath County. Like California, some counties are more CCW friendly than others. Yeah. You apply online there, then you say you have to go up for an interview. Went up there, and the interview was, hi, let us come take your picture. And issue you your permit.
Got it.
So you can do Oregon. That's another 5-year permit if you're willing to jump through the hoops. Does it matter to you? Is Nevada really important, or Oregon? Make those choices.
Right.
Not hard.
But you have the options to do it.
Yeah.
Some people feel naked when they're not carrying. If they have a CCW, it gives you that extra peace of mind.
After a while, it feels like that. It's really weird at first, and then after a while, it's weird to not carry.
Yeah. So, Paul, what type of guns can we carry on a CCW? What will they allow us to carry?
I think there's 2 things to talk about there. One is just the common sense, what's a good choice for us? And then the other one is every county can make its own rules about what we legally can carry. So let's talk first about just the personal choice. A great big gun is very hard to conceal. You can shoot them well because they got that long barrel, but they're hard to conceal. And a little tiny gun is really easy to conceal, but it's probably a small caliber. And if you're aiming at something more than a couple of feet away, it's no good. So finding something that is concealable, that you shoot well. I mean, that's the balance you're looking for. Most counties will let you have 3 is the typical number, 3 different guns on your permit. You can only carry the specific gun and specific serial number that's on your permit. In California, some counties will let you have more, some only let you have 2. But you have a primary gun. Make sure you really like it. It suits you well. A gun that you like, you're apt to go out and shoot more often.
Right.
And shooting often is important. That's a perishable skill. Get better and better with your gun. So get a gun you like. And before we talk about what the county limits are, let's just talk more about guns that you like. You have people coming in here all the time saying, I'm looking for a gun.
Right.
What do you tell them? How do you help them find a gun?
Well, you talk to them a little bit about how they want to carry it, whether it's off-body carry or on-body carry. On-body is where you holster it.
Yeah.
Off-body is where you have a sling bag, or maybe you have if you're a lady, you have a purse, or if you just carry a satchel like Indiana Jones, you may want to put it in there.
And you know what? Once upon a time, we would make fun of people with fanny packs.
Yeah,
but
now you don't make
those
fun.
are kind of coming back in fashion. That's an option. Be really careful with off-body carry, just because the responsibility of the gun is so huge, and you have to have control of it all the time. But for some people, that is an option.
If for some reason you take it off, you're sitting in a restaurant, it's easy to leave. So there's a lot more to consider when you're doing that.
Don't take it off.
Right.
Yeah.
In most restaurants now, you can't carry it anyway. So there's off-body carry, on-body carry, the size. If you're carrying something big, that's going to kind of define where you're going to carry it. But most importantly is what gun is comfortable for you.
Yeah.
You put a lot of guns in your hand, and every gun holds a little bit different. Every gun touches your hand in different places. So finding the one that fits you, if you're comfortable with that firearm, whether it's weight, balance, size, you're going to want to go shoot it if you like it.
Yeah.
And that's the important part, is staying confident with your firearm. And you really want to go shoot it to stay proficient, so that if, God forbid, you do have to use the CCW, you'll hit what you're aiming at.
Yeah, and if after time you decide it's not just the right gun, that's a reason to buy another gun.
Sure.
So there's that. So what are the limitations that our counties put on us? Every county can make its own rules about what caliber you can carry. We're in Placer County. You can't carry a 22. Placer County says 25 caliber is the minimum. And you know anybody carrying a 25?
We've had people ask for them before. But
Yeah.
You have to find the ammo for it.
Contra Costa County, it's a minimum of a 32 caliber. And I've had one person come to class with a 32 caliber.
Most people with 25 and 32 calibers have a grandfather's gun, or they're carrying something like a Beretta Tomcat or something really small.
So,
but
your county may allow that. We see it very rarely. I will occasionally have a 22 from Sacramento County come through. But, the primary calibers are 380, 9, 40, and 45. And let's not get into that debate. I think all of those are completely reasonable. Even the 380 ballistic quality has changed. That's a great defensive round. If that's the gun that fits you well, my wife carries a 380. I don't mess with her. So
I know people that carry 380 because they feel like they're going to get at the defense distance. You're going to get pretty much the same impact as you would from a 9. But you're not going to have the recoil. You're going to be able to control your follow-on shots better with 380. So that's always something to consider.
So check with your county if you're purchasing your gun and make sure. But every county that I know of, 380, 9, 40, and 45 are all acceptable. If you're new to shooting, I wouldn't recommend a 40 caliber. Those guns are really snappy.
Yeah.
9 and 380 are perfectly fine.
There's a plethora of ammo out there, so the ammo prices tend to be a little more stable on those.
Yeah.
So, Paul, a lot of people get worried about printing. We talked about the size of the gun, right? And the effects that can have. What about printing? What do I need to consider when we're looking at carrying?
Let's define printing and then just talk about concealment and how we do that. Printing is you've got a sizable gun and a T-shirt comes down over your gun, and you look closely and you think, I'm pretty sure I see the outline of a gun right there, right? I think people worry too much about that because the average person is not going around looking at people's waistlines trying to spot it. Cops can spot it for sure, I think. And once you get into that world, you might notice it. But I think especially new people carrying worry about it too much. Having said that, let's do our best to conceal. How do we do that? Invariably, almost everybody I know ends up with a large drawer or bag full of holsters.
Yep, I have that myself.
You got to try a bunch of stuff because every body type is different. And what works for this person won't necessarily work for that person. The way I carry works great for me. My best friend since junior high is shaped differently than me, and it doesn't work for him. So you have to be willing to try a bunch of stuff, which may mean buying a bunch of holsters, and you end up spending about $100 on each one. And, but they've
got to be comfortable, and they've got to be able to wear them for a while. Because what you try on in the store, and then you wear it for 5 hours, you might find hot spots, you might find places where it rubs, and some of that you can alleviate. But like body shape, where you're a pretty svelte guy, you can carry in one location.
Yeah.
I'm not as svelte as I used to be, so I carry in another location. So clothing matters, I think.
Oh yeah, clothing obviously it can't be really tight. Pattern patterned clothing covers better than solid
camouflage.
Or plaid.
Right.
Again, I really mean it. You have to be ready to go out and try things and see what works for you. I mean, can we disclose some things? I'm an appendix carry, guys, right here. And my shirt hangs down and it does great. You're 3 o'clock. You carry it right over here on your side. You are a bigger, stronger man than me. You're wider here, and your shirt, when you're, a shirt that hangs out, hangs straight down over it. And
broad shoulders got to be able to.
I don't notice it at all on you. Ladies, they have different challenges, of course. Good old-fashioned belly bands, this elastic band that goes around your waist, those work great. People make fun of those. I think they're great. I've used them for a long time. Ladies often have hips that go like that, and the belly band starts riding up, and that doesn't work for them. Right. And so you got to be willing to try a bunch of stuff, and you'll go online, and here's the latest, greatest holster. You just got to have it, and you get it, and or it doesn't work for you, or it hurts when you sit down.
Sure.
And there's so many considerations. Where on your body you carry the gun. Get in the community. They're the nicest people you ever meet. See what other people are doing, and find out what works for you.
Well, hey, Paul. Thank you for dropping by. I think we've answered pretty much most of the questions that come across us.
Yeah, we covered all around.
You can always put in the comments. Email us at info@ncgv.com if you have questions. If you want to talk to Paul, you can go to usgunpro.com, and I'm sure they have contacts through that where you can find out maybe more specific information about your county. If you have questions, come on in. That's what we love. We love new shooters, seasoned shooters. Doesn't matter. We don't judge anybody here. If you have questions, please come in, because this is the place to do it. And if you don't ask, you won't know the answer. If you like the content, like and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Share it. Let's get this content out there. Appreciate it. Thank you, Paul.
You bet, eh? Thanks.